tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namami buddhaṃ gunasāgaraṇtaṃ santā sadā hontu sukhiya verā kāyo jigunjo sakalo dugandho gaccanti sabbe maranaṃ ahañca. Dear friends in the Dhamma, Venerable says, if any question, now you can ask about the sermons and practice what we have been listening to and practicing. Yes, please.
In Anapanasati, the first instruction is often translated as a bhikkhu establishes mindfulness in front of him, and I've heard different interpretations what that means. I've heard like if you pay attention at the notes, or just means like make mindfulness the priority. Could you please elaborate on that?
Yes, you focus on a particular discourse or general idea? You are focusing on a particular discourse or sutta, no?
I think it's... I got it from the Anapanasati Sutta, but I think it's often mentioned that way, or am I wrong?
Yes, Anapanasati Sutta and other discourses where Anapanasati is described, it says as Parimukhaṃ sati nupaṭṭapetva. So sato vasasati, sato pasasati. It means focusing on in front of the mouth. We are aware of our breathing in and out. That word Parimukhaṃ sati nupaṭṭapetva is explained in various ways, some interpreters later. But when we refer the very ancient discourses that Buddha has explained in the Tripitaka, there is a very special chapter which comes in Vibhanga Pakarana in Abhidhamma Pitaka. There is a special Vibhanga which is Jhana Vibhanga. Jhana Vibhanga explains about the jhanas. There, Parimukhaṃ sati nupaṭṭapetva is explained as Nasikaggyeva mukhanimitteva, around the nose or upper lip. That is explained there very clearly. In Pali Tripitaka itself, we can see this explanation. That is very important. But it based on the very first step, Anapanasati can be explained in fourfold mindfulnesses. According to Mahasatipatthana Sutta, there we can see Anapanasati Sutta as the first level of mindfulness, which is Kayanupassana. But when we refer some other discourses, such as now we chanted Girimananda Sutta, there we can see not only the Kayanupassana part, but even other three mindfulnesses, Vedanupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana also can be seen there. There are 16 stages of breathing meditation. 4 things belong to Kayanupassana. Other 4 things belong to Vedanupassana. Next 4 things belong to Chittanupassana. Final 4 things belong to Dhammanupassana. But here, very important thing, Nasikaggyeva mukhanimitteva, around the nose or upper lip is based on when we practice Kayanupassana. When we practice Anapanasati, it begins with Kayanupassana, the contemplation of body. But when mind gradually goes to the deeper level, it comes to Vedanupassana, the contemplation of feelings. there gradually the kaya or the physical body gradually disappears. We gradually go to the deeper level to the feelings. And also when we go to the next level, which is Chittanupassana, we focus on consciousness. When we go to the final part, we can say we focus on mental formations. When we go to the next levels, we should not focus on here. But we are aware of this area, but not to focus on a particular place, but generally we are going to the deeper level from Vedana to the mental formations, feelings to the mental formations. But at the very beginning, it is very important to keep our mind in somewhere. That is why some, ancient teachers, they especially explain the importance of keeping our attention around the noswapali. That is very important.
And maybe one follow-up question. You just said the body disappears. Is that what is meant with calming the bodily formations, or is that something else?
Yes, gradually the physical body calming down. That is the thing, when we especially go to the jhana levels, first of all we based on kaya, and next we based on our vacha or words, vitaka vichara. It is the very first process of our speaking. That also gradually disappears. Then we go to piti, sukha, ekaggata. Piti also gradually disappears. Then we go to sukha and ekaggata, happiness and stillness. Then gradually we go to the deeper level, we have only upekha ekaggata, tranquility and stillness. That is the way. It doesn't mean that we don't use the physical body, but we use the physical body, but our attention gradually goes to the deeper level. Yes, please.
You spoke earlier about 4 elements
Yes.
in
Kayanupassana.
us, and it was before walking meditation. Although in walking meditation I was very busy looking at the body and the breathing and could not go further. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit more about these 4 elements.
Yes, when we practice walking meditation, first of all we are aware of our body posture, that we are walking, and focusing on this area, we are aware of the physical body. And when we put our steps, little by little, we develop our mindfulness. We are aware of our mindfulness. At the very first step or at the beginning, sometimes it is difficult to concentrate our mind on 4 fundamental elements. But gradually we develop it day by day, we can do it. When we are fully aware of our physical body, our mind gradually gains concentration. But for that, the environment also should support us. If not, our mind goes here and there. Especially here it is very cold weather. Sometimes our mind goes here and there. But actually that is also a very good experience for our natural feelings. However, when we practice again and again walking meditation, we are able to practice 4 fundamental elements, not 4 in one moment, but one by one we can. Earth element, my body has a rough thin or earth element, and my body consists with water element, heat and motion or air element. One by one we can contemplate on. And when we go forward, we can get 4 things together. My body consists with these 4 things: earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. And also, while we are walking, we can practice other meditation techniques too. Such as we can practice even metta bhavana. When we put our legs steps, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. That is why Karane Sutta explains, Tittang charan nisinnova sayanova yavatasvikadamiddo. It means we can practice loving kindness meditation, metta bhavana, in 4 postures. While we are walking, we can practice metta bhavana too. But the contemplation of the 4 fundamental elements directly belongs to our physical body. That is very important. Even anapanasati also we can practice in the surface level. While we are walking or while we are sitting, opening our eyes, we can concentrate our mind on breathing in and out too. And also, we can be aware of the activities that we do according to Kayanupassana. Whatever we do physically, if we do everything with mindfulness, it means we are in practice. Not only that, we can contemplate on our impurity of our body parts, our hair, our skin hair, our nail, our teeth. We can contemplate on these things too while we are walking, one by one. And also we can practice the contemplation of death too, marananusati. While we are walking mindfully, we can contemplate on life is uncertain, death is certain, life is uncertain, death is certain, life is uncertain, death is certain. This is a gradual path. When we continuously practice this path, we can gradually go forward. Finally, very important thing, while we are walking, opening our eyes, as soon as we see something, we hear something, we smell something, we taste something, immediately we can go to the deeper level in Vipassana Bhavana, insight meditation, reflecting on impermanence. Some disciples, some practitioners who continuously practice this path, they mostly practice Vipassana Bhavana while they are doing their day-to-day activities. But it takes time. When we practice it continuously with curiosity and having these results, our inner motivation gradually increases, and also we see the results. When we see the results, we are happy. When we are happy, our motivation, inner motivation, again and again develops. One time, if you are unable to take 4 fundamental elements, you can take at least one thing, earth element. My body is constituted with earth element. Then gradually you can develop it. My physical body is constituted with earth element and water element. And next you can think, my physical body consists with earth element, water element and fire element. Then finally you can focus on 4 at once. My physical body consists with these 4 things. Solidity. And next one, water element, heat and motion. Gradually we can develop it. This is a gradual process. The important thing is that, while we are practicing Dhamma, we should be happy about our practice. Happiness is very important. We do everything, not only this Dhamma practice, but even your family life, your working place life, your traveling, daily sometimes you may travel to your workplace. Everything that we should do with happiness. We should enjoy with what we are doing with. That is very important. For that, we have to do good activities, purifying our minds in our day-to-day life. That is why we explain the importance of practicing 3 meritorious deeds: generosity, virtue, and especially loving kindness meditation. Not only we do these activities, we focus on these things always. Not only we practice generosity, but we contemplate on what we practice as generosity. We enjoy with what we practice. After you finish your some generous things, donations, you think again and again, I have practiced this kind of good deeds in my mind, in my life. I practice 5 precepts in my day-to-day life. We are enjoy with what we do. Happiness and practice should be together. Then gradually we can go forward in our day-to-day life. Anything else? Yes. Since morning we have been discussing the highest meritorious acts that we can do based on understanding the right vision, samadhi. Today we completely discuss about the conventional truth. The first part of samadhi, right understanding. Whatever we do with intention, we will have the same results according to our mental situation. Whenever our mind is impure, if we do something physically, verbally or mentally with an impure mind, suffering follows us. If we do something with a pure mind, physically, verbally or mentally, happiness follows us. As the result of this understanding, as the result of practicing good deeds, happiness follows us. With this understanding, always we keep our mind pure and calm. Always we keep our mind pure and calm. Why? Whenever mind is impure, we have no happiness. We like our happiness. We take care of our happiness. If we want to take care of our happiness, we should take care of our mind. Mind decides whether we are happy or unhappy. For that, again and again, we have to come to this practice. While we are practicing Dhamma, we can do other things which are correct, which are good deeds, such as planting some flowers, vegetables, cleaning your garden, landscaping. Those things are also causes to your happiness. When you go out from your home, you should see the plants, vegetables, fruits that you have grown. That is also where we receive happiness. And every day in your garden, you should see some plants or vegetables or flowers. That is also very important. And also when you help your parents or elders, when you take care of your children, your relatives with what you earned honestly and righteously, there also we can be happy. Buddhism explains, if a person earns something honestly, correctly, and righteously, he can be happy with what he has earned. When you have something in your house, at home, when you look at them, when you see your clothes, when you see your vehicle, when you see your home, you can be happy. I have spent my money for these things with the money that I have earned very honestly and hard. Not only that, when you feed, when you help your relatives and friends, when they enjoy with the things that you have offered to them, then you can be happy. They also happy with what I have given to them, what I have earned honestly, hard, and righteously. That is said in Buddhism as Bhoga Sukha. Atti Sukha. If you have something that we have earned honestly, we can be happy when we see them. When you spend it, when you give that money or your properties, your wealth to someone, there also you can be happy. These are the ways that we can gain happiness in our day-to-day life. Not only that, when we see our life, we are so fortunate. Every day we can be happy. We have received a very fortunate life. We are so fortunate. We have received a blissful life. We have to think a lot of things that bring us happiness. Especially when we practice Dhamma with the understanding of the right understanding. We practice 6 meditation techniques or contemplations in our day-to-day life. As we explained in our previous sermons. Buddha Anusati, the contemplation of the Buddha's qualities. Dhammanupassana, the contemplation of the qualities of the Dhamma. Sanghanupassana, the contemplation of the qualities of the noble disciples. Chaganupassana, the contemplation of your generosity. Silanusati, the contemplation of virtue or moral conduct. And the 6th one, Devatanupassana, the contemplation of the qualities of the divine beings or Brahmas, what they have practiced for their blissful life. Actually, this is very important. Why do we need to contemplate on the qualities of the divine beings? When we practice these primary qualities, actually, always we are ready to receive a blissful life whenever we live this life. No matter when, where we die, we will receive a blissful life. Not only that, no matter whether you believe or not next life, until we are going to our death, our spiritual happiness gradually increases. This is the result of our practice of Dhamma. And also, we always focus on our spiritual happiness, purifying our mind. And also, we practice these qualities, what we have already discussed today. They mostly help us to succeed in this sansaric circle. But the next topic that we will be going to discuss tomorrow, we focus on the second stage of right understanding, which consists with 4 noble truths. The primary levels samadhi to right understanding focus on samadhi. It ends with samma samadhi. As the result of samma samadhi, the highest benefit that we receive reduce in our 5 hindrances. That is the purpose of having right understanding as the understanding of the karmic law. But with the understanding of the 4 noble truths, when we practice the Noble Eightfold Path, we focus on reducing ignorance, which is the worst unwholesome mental state. There we don't stop in samatha. Samahito bhikkhave bhikkhu yatha bhutam pajanati. Whenever mind gains concentration, we reflect on impermanence, the reality as it is. Our body and mind are impermanent. They arise and cease at the moment. Or we understand 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, consciousness, mental formations. They are also impermanent. And our internal senses, like eye, ear, nose, these are also impermanent. And external objects, forms, sounds, smell, they are also impermanent. They also arise at the moment. This belongs to Vipassana Bhavana. As the result of practicing this insight meditation, we gradually reduce ignorance or delusion, avidya. That is the purpose of second step of samadhi or right understanding. There we practice the Noble Eightfold Path with correct understanding. There we little by little go to the deeper level. As the result of practicing this path, we are happy about our spiritual life. We enjoy our life. Ordinary people, they are happy in their young age with their relatives and friends. But when they gradually go into the old age, their close relatives and friends, gradually they leave them. Their happiness gradually decreases. But we who practice Dhamma, our happiness depends on our own experience and own practice. That happiness day by day grows, it develops. On the other side, while we are going forward on this path, we should help our relatives and friends too with this understanding, if they are ready to listen to us. If not, we can't help. Buddha says very clearly, when you practice Dhamma, especially when you understand the 4 Noble Truths, when you practice the Noble Eightfold Path, you should show this path to your close relatives and friends too, if they are ready to listen to you. If not, we can't help. That is very important. Dhamma is like counseling. When counselors do their service, clients should be ready. If clients don't like, counselors can't help them. This is like counseling. And this is the nature of the Dhamma. Any question?
About the karmic law, it said that everything that is done intentionally will have some results. But what about actions that are like unconscious, not on intentions? They might also have results. For example, if I park a car and I do damage to another car, but it was not on intention, there might also be bad results out of that action.
Yes, that is a good question. Karmic law always explains our samsaric journey. Even though you receive some ticket or something as the result of your some actions that you do unconsciously, but it doesn't influence your samsaric journey. Sometimes you may have to go to jail without your karma, without your actions. But according to the samsaric circle, you have no disadvantage. You have a safety. That says, Attadipateya, Lokadipateya, Dhammadipateya. Attadipateya means when we do something, we focus on myself, whether it is good for me or not. Lokadipatiya means there are something we do according to the world rules. Sometimes those things don't influence our samsaric journey. That is Lokadipatiya. There are some things which belongs to Dhammadipateya. It means that influences our samsaric journey and that influences us to overcome the samsaric circle. That is Dhammadipateya. Lokadipateya and Dhammadipateya. Some Lokadipateya things may not influence our karmic law, but sometimes it may be. Sometimes it may be not. On the other side, sometimes we face some problems. We have no any mistake in this life. But sometimes because of our previous actions, we face some problems. Even though we do something unconsciously, without intention, those actions may influence our life. For an example, when Buddha was living, there was a monk. One day, he was punished because of other person's misbehavior. He didn't do any wrong thing. Because of other person's bad behavior, he had the capital punishment. While he was in the punishment, Buddha came to him and Buddha preached Dhamma for him. In the punishment, he attained enlightenment. He passed away as an arahant. Then monks in the Dhamma hall, they were discussing about this incident. The monks told that this monk is so innocent. Why this person become this situation? Buddha says, this person is so innocent in this life, but he has done the same thing in his previous lives. Because we can see before the life, we may think that this is not justice. Actually, if we know the all samsaric journey, we know very well everything is okay. However, if we do something without intention, it doesn't influence our karmic law. But we may have some disadvantages. if there is something, it happens not only with the one single cause. If something happens, there are many causes or reasons are there. Buddhism doesn't explain only one reason, one cause. For one incident, there are many causes, many reasons, many things behind it. But we can see only very nearest reason. We don't know other reasons. There are many reasons we can see in this world. Sometimes causes or reasons, sometimes invisible reasons. This is the nature of our life. It is a good question. It's a very complex question. I know it. My knowledge is very poor. Therefore, I explain a little. Okay, one day we may have to explain more things with our understanding. There are a lot of incidents that we can see in Buddha's words, in the Dhamma. There are a lot of stories about that. Some things happen for our lucky, for fortunate. There is a story in Buddhist history, Buddhist or Indian history. There was a king, and he had a minister. Always the minister says, what happens, good or bad, he thinks, this is a good thing. This happened to good. While they both were going to somewhere, when king was doing something, he cut his finger. Then that minister says that it happens to good. Then, king was very angry. I cut my finger. You say that it is good? Then the king blamed and punished him. That king was going without that minister. Then in the jungle, in the forest, he met some robbers. They wanted to sacrifice a person for the ghost. They were finding a person, suitable person. They met the king, but they didn't know this is the king. The robbers caught that person. And now they are going to kill that person for the sacrifice for the gods. Then that king says that, my friends, I had no my finger. If you don't have a finger, we can do these things. You go. If that person had a finger, he had to die. He had to be killed. Like that, some things happens in our life for fortunate. Some things don't happen in our life also for fortune. We always try to do the best thing. And also whether we can do or not, whether it happens or not happen, we should understand that everything happens to good. But first, we should do something with our dedication, maximally. But if we can do it, don't worry about it. If something you can't change, why do we worry? If there is something which cannot be changed, why do we worry? Even though we worry, we can change it. If we can change something, there also we don't need to worry. And the karmic law is very complex. Buddha says there are some subjects in the world, they are so complex. One of them is the karmic law. There are some 4 things. The qualities of the Buddha also very complex. The world subject, the beings in the world, their situations, the planets, universe, it is also complex. And mind also very complex. These subjects cannot be understood by a person completely. Even Sariputta, who was the gifted person in the Buddha's dispensation, he also couldn't understand these subjects completely. These subjects can be understood completely only by the Buddha. Buddha Vishaya, the subject of the Buddha; Karma Vishaya, the subject of the karma, karmic energy; Chitta Vishaya, the subject of the Chitta or Jhana; and Loka Vishaya, the subject of the world, universe. These subjects cannot be understood completely. But we should have some kind of understanding about this, but no complete understanding. Those are the very complex subjects. Any question? Yes, please.
Why is it that only the Buddha could tell if another person is really enlightened? Why not someone else, or why could he? So why couldn't an Arahant tell another Arahant, and only the Buddha?
You know, some subjects can be understood by Arahants, such as Four Noble Truths, the other things which directly help us to attain enlightenment, they can be understood by the Arahants. One day, when Buddha was going through a forest, Buddha took some leaves of a tree, and Buddha says, these leaves are very few. The leaves in the floor is a lot. Like these leaves, what I have taken in my hand, what I have preached to the world is like this one. The teachings, the doctrines that I have already realized, what I haven't explained to the world is like the leaves which are on the floor. Buddha says, if something you need for your liberation, it's like the leaves which I have in my hand. Those things I have already explained to you. But there are some other things. They are not helpful for your liberation. They cannot be understood by other people. Those are the subjects for only the Buddhas. Therefore, I didn't explain those things for you. Yes.
Did you say, or is there maybe anything written about that the leaves left, or why it's not to be understood is because it has to be experienced by the person itself? The example with the leaves on the hand and the leaves that are get on the floor by a tree or in nature itself. So I was wondering if it cannot be understood, the liberation, because or is there some reason because by a person or other people who are liberated their own mind because it is in themselves?
Actually, they themselves can understand some things. They can gain some psychic energies on. Psychic energies can be realized by only few people, even though they attain Arahantas. All Arahantas have no psychic energies. Only few Arahantas have the special psychic energies. Because of their mental capacity, some of Arahantas can develop other psychic energies too. Sometimes Buddha also had those kind of psychic energies. We don't need fourth jhana to attain enlightenment. We just need first jhana. Through first jhana, we can attain enlightenment. But usually, many of monks, when they attain enlightenment, they gain fourth jhanas too. Like that, there are some Arahantas who had other special psychic energies which don't help to the enlightenment. Because of their previous karma, previous skills, they could develop extra skills. But some monks had no that skills. Therefore, they didn't practice those things. They just needed to attain enlightenment through practicing Dhamma, through practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. But sometimes, some monks, when they attain enlightenment, they had only the primary needs for the liberation. But after they attain enlightenment, they wanted to do the more service to the world. Then they again practice other qualities too, other psychic energies. For an example, Arahant Mahinda, when he attained enlightenment, he had no many psychic energies. But after he attained enlightenment, he wanted to go to Sri Lanka from India. Before he was going to Sri Lanka, he developed some special psychic energies, and also he learned by heart all the doctrines that Buddha has explained. He didn't bring any book to Sri Lanka. Venerable Arahant Mahinda and other several monks, especially Arahant Mahinda, all the teachings learned by heart, brought everything to Sri Lanka from India, keeping everything in his mind. He developed this skill after he attained enlightenment. Some Arahantas want to do more service to the world, for that they should have some psychic energies, therefore they develop them. But not always. They don't want to, their conceit, their craving, they don't want to develop their negative thoughts, their only purpose to bring this message to the world. For that, sometimes they develop special psychic energies. If they want those qualities, they should have some previous skills too. If not, sometimes they can do it. Buddha says, especially according to the Chullakamavibhanga Sutta, there is a difference in this world. There are many differences in this world. When we see the world, some people are very rich, some people are poor, some people are very wise, some people are stupid, some people have a lot of friends and relatives, some people are alone. A person asks Bhante, what is the reason of these differences in this world? Buddha says, the cause of this difference is that karmic energy, what we have done in our previous lives. When we go to develop some extra skills, especially psychic energies and other spiritual qualities, it has a limit. But Buddha, he was a very special person. He had developed all the qualities in his samsaric journey. He had every skills maximally. But others are not like that. But Buddha has pointed out the clear path, all the things which help us to attain enlightenment. It is very clear. Buddha says very clearly, when he was getting ready for his passing away, monks asked Bhante, please deliver the final sermon. Buddha asked, what is the final sermon? I have explained everything. I haven't hidden anything. I have no final sermon. Already I have explained everything what you need. But finally Buddha gave a very special advice. But that is Buddha's intention, his behavior. Actually, the very special thing in our life is very limited, Our life is not very long. Buddha always encourages us to get the result in this very moment. Our time goes very fast. Even we can't think or discuss about our previous lives or next lives. Buddha always encourage us to get the benefits in this present moment. Don't waste your time. Our time is very valuable. When some people ask some questions, Buddha knew the answer, but Buddha was silent. Buddha knew the answers very well, but Buddha was silent. Buddha says, these answers don't help for your liberation. Dukkam pantaca nindukkam, bhayam pantaca ninbhayam, sokam pantaca nissokam, hontu sambe pipanino. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, enlightenment.